Hey everyone, it's John with Roadkill Incorporated, and today I'm going to talk about possibly the most interesting retro purchase I have ever made. 19 Atari STs, lots of colored monitors, which is strange because Atari didn't make colored monitors, and an Atari Robot, which I think is a point of sale device. Private labeled by a different organization that is made out of Atari products and highly modified. So yeah, some really crazy stuff. So I wanted to, before I get into the video of me doing the pickup of all of this, I wanted to give some background because otherwise it won't make any sense. So yeah, it all started a few months ago. When I was browsing eBay for retro stuff, which I do quite a bit, and when you browse eBay for retro stuff, sometimes you actually find it. Who would have ever guessed? But for some reason, I was looking around at Atari STs. Ataris have always intrigued me. I never had one. As a kid, though, I had a friend who had one, and his parents didn't let me touch it because it was expensive, so I'd just have to sit there and watch him use it. So it kind of had an allure to it. They're interesting machines, and yeah, so I don't know. I'm really into Amigas, but Ataris have always kind of been out there, and now and then I check up on them. And they're not as expensive as Amigas. They're a little bit less, probably half the price of Amigas. So I was looking at Atari 1040 STs on eBay, and I found a listing, and it wasn't bad. I mean, they were priced something like $200, and I think they had like 5 of them. And I don't remember why I contacted the seller, but some question or something. But in the emails back and forth, it came up that they had a lot more of them. And so we went offline to personal email because we were talking about stuff that was outside of eBay at this point. And I was like, well, what do you have? Maybe I'd just buy it all if the price is right, because why have one Atari when you can have however many? So, yeah, it turned out there were something like 19 of them, some of them in pieces, I guess, or missing parts, and there were monitors and other things too, and it came up that some of this might have been part of a trade show, where at first I thought it was probably an Atari trade show, but yeah, it was kind of odd, and they were clearing out a warehouse apparently down south, and it took a lot of their time, so they didn't really have much time to deal with this Atari thing. So I ended up checking in with the guy like every week. And they were always kind of too busy to deal with it. And then the initial guy I was dealing with quit, I guess, so then I ended up dealing with someone else. And same thing, every week or two, just checking in. And then a few weeks ago, they were finally ready to get this going. And they sent me some pictures, which was really crazy to see, these green and red monitors. That that Atari never produced. They never made colored monitors, so it's like, what is going on here? And then this device, this sort of stand-up thing that I think is like a point-of-sale device or some kind of kiosk. Obviously an Atari monitor, but modified in some way, and what's the thing it's sitting on? Is there an Atari computer in there? Really hard to tell, but I was definitely intrigued. So I made a deal with the guy, and I paid shipping. I had to hire a freight company. It cost $800 to ship, 700-pound pallet. Apparently with COVID, freight has gone up dramatically, and it took more than I'd say about a week and a half to get here too, which is unusual because freight would generally take a couple days. But yeah, really wild. It took a long time to secure this deal and get it going, but it showed up, and yeah. So this is kind of the introduction, and now I will switch over to the actual pickup of the crazy retro Atari lot that is absolutely the biggest weirdest retro lot I've ever dealt with.
All right, so I finally got back. Such a relief after all of this to finally have this stuff back. Yeah, you can't really see the crates, but they're just ridiculous. They're totally hardcore. They're like the crate the monster was in the Creepshow movie. More stuff up there. And then, so there are two of them. And then under there, there's the two biggest ones. So yeah, I've got to get these out now. It was funny, the guy offered to help me load up, and I was like, no, I don't need your help to load in these 300-pound boxes. I'll be fine. That was a mistake, but at least they should be a little easier to get out, hopefully. So I'll get everything out, and then we'll see what we have. All right, so here we are. It was not as easy as I was hoping. Unfortunately, but it is done, so that's good. These things are massive. Apparently they are the original crates that this stuff was hauled around in for the trade shows, which wouldn't surprise me. They're just ridiculous. I mean, I could like bury like 3 bodies in each one of these. And here is a preview. Look at that thing. Preview of the monitors, I guess. Hopefully this can be cleared up. It doesn't look like too much of an issue though, just whatever that is. But if these are painted, people have guessed that these are probably painted, then they did a good job. I mean, the rollers there are intact. So if it's a professional job, if they did paint these. I don't know what this crusty, sandy gunk is. Hopefully they weren't like submerged in a swamp or something. So yeah, SC1224. It's got the funky video cable there. I don't know why there's a hole. There's paper in there. Strange. There's not a hole in this one, so I don't know what's up with that hole. But anyway, that will just be something we'll have to work on later, figuring out what the hole in the monitor is. This is other stuff that came with it. Probably more monitors and accessories, things like that. This is all stuff from a pickup the other day, so we don't need to be concerned with these tablets or Surface Pros or anything like that, because they're just not as interesting as all of this. So anyway, I need to go get a crowbar. I realized I don't have a crowbar, and I just don't think I can get in otherwise. Maybe, I guess I could use a drill. Yeah, I could use a drill, electric screwdriver, and take out the screws. That would probably be the more civilized way to do it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So anyway, I'll get that started, and we will see what we have soon. Okay, a lot going on. I thought I'd do a sort of a partway through video. But first, look at this packing material. It's like glitch art packing material. I mean, I don't need all of this, but pretty cool. Looks like stone or something. But anyway, yeah. So we got some of the monitors out of that open face box over there. I figured out the hole. So some of these have a key lock on them. I really don't understand why a monitor would be locked, but some of them have a key lock, and then some of them have a hole where the lock should go, and then others of them don't have anything there. So I think these monitors are fairly highly modified, is what I'm guessing. And TVA Energy Center. So I'm thinking that the trade show thing was not an Atari trade show, but rather this TVA Energy Center using Ataris for their whatever they were doing. I don't know. Here we have two beautiful Atari external hard drives. I think those are pretty rare. And then we have this thing. It's called a HABA, H-A-B-A. I think that's a third-party Atari hard drive. And then we have these strange canisters that, I don't know. They look like almost like external enclosures for drives, but I don't know. I'll have to explore those. So here are these guys. I was going to remove this sticky note, but I noticed it said robot monitor. So in case I find the robot, this is the monitor for the robot. So I'll leave that sticky note on. Okay, so I took the screws out of the first crate. Lots of screws there. They're kind of nice screws. I think I'll keep them for something else. But anyway, I took them out, and we will see what we have here. I have not opened this up. Ooh, I see computers. Let's see. And there's a hole. These Ataris all have holes. I don't know what the deal is. I know some of them were incomplete, so it's to be expected that some aren't perfect. Wow. These are all... Ooh, is that cracked? No. Might be a little tricky to do this one-handed, but these are all Atari 1040 STs, supposedly. Yeah, 1040 ST. They have a floppy drive. The earlier Ataris did not have a floppy drive. So what I'm really interested in is to figure out if some of these are modified or have hard drives or, you know, that kind of thing. Because if there was a strange, STF, I forgot what that means. F is floppy. There are some other designations, but yeah. If there was going to be a strange Atari lot of modified items, this would be it, I would say. Okay, so I got the screws out of the big one. This should be the main attraction, the Atari point of sale device, it seems to be. This strange cylindrical thing with a monitor on top it that they took to trade shows. It should be bright green too, or turquoise. We'll see what we have. Ooh, there it is. Face down. It is cracked. It does have a crack in it. Hopefully, I don't like the angle on that. It doesn't look like it's centered. I hope it didn't break off. All right, so here it is. Not really sure what it is, but here it is. So luckily the monitor I thought was like completely broken, but it's not in bad shape. It was just this piece was broken off. And so there's a plastic piece under there, and the idea is that the monitor sits on this shelf. So I put one of these hard drive enclosures there just to hold it up because obviously this is broken, and I don't know, maybe that will get fixed at some point, but I don't know, maybe shipping damage, who knows what did it, but whatever, no big deal. I can prop it up like that. Maybe this is the robot? I don't know. I'll have to look at the other robot monitor. I don't know. The reason I looked at that monitor was that I noticed here we've got some weird cabling. This is not a standard Atari thing here. So you've got these 3 pins, and then there's a little notch which tells you what direction it is, and then you connect it in. So my thought is, I could be wrong, this is supposed to be like a point of sale device. So my thought is that it has a touch screen. Maybe this is like an experimental touch screen by this company. Number 10A, I don't know what that means. But yeah, so this is pretty heavy duty. Obviously we've got a power cable coming out. This is for the hard drive, don't mind that. But I don't see a power switch. I don't know what's going on. We've got video, we've got power. This power cable goes into the device. So in the device somewhere, there's got to be a power strip or something. And then there's a fan. So I don't know. I wonder what kind of computer is in this guy. You know, here's this little panel. I don't know if there's a camera in there. I really don't know. Yeah, it's funny with some of these monitors, they cover up the controls. Maybe they didn't want people to be messing with the settings and all of that. And did I say there's a fan there? Yeah, there's a fan. So at some point I will have to tear into this thing and just see what's going on. I'm reluctant to break it or anything, but yeah, so there we are. There's the power cable. I think the next step is we try to power it on. All right, so I got a power strip out. We're going to try the power and see what the heck happens. I connected the Strange monitor connector, which I assume has something to do with touch. That's just a guess. Then there's the video cable. Then there's the power cable. They all go into the thing in that hole. And let's see. Can't imagine we're gonna have any result here. Ooh. Ooh. It's a sound. Monitor is on. That's more than I was expecting. I thought it would definitely be dead. I just don't see any way in this thing. I don't know if that's a fan noise or a bad hard drive. The fan blades are not spinning, so that's not a good indication. I think the answer might be underneath the thing. That seems to be hollowed out, so I might have to attack this from underneath. But anyway, I think this is enough of this for this video. Really wasn't expecting it to power on fully anyway, so I'll probably dig into this and show more of this in a future video. Okay, last but not least, we have the fourth crate here. To tell you the truth, I really don't know what this is. I think that I've unearthed pretty much everything I knew that was coming. So yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's the giant swamp monster that's gonna pop out and eat me alive. I don't know. Certainly looks like it's been in the swamp. Oh, it's more red monitors. How boring. Okay, let's see what color these are. More red, okay. Oh, and a yellow one. That's right, there's a yellow monitor. That's cool. Yeah, so there were only 4 monitors in that crate. The yellow one, is that orange? Strange, through my phone it looks yellow, but looking at it outside my phone it looks orange. I don't know why. It doesn't look like it was painted as well as the red ones, assuming the red ones were painted. It just looks kind of spotty. It looks like they might have tried to make it into a robot screen, because it's got the funky connector coming out. I don't know what these cables are, but then it does have the video cable and the power cable, so perhaps it's a working monitor. I hope I can salvage some of these as working monitors. Some of them probably won't come back, but we'll see. So yeah, that is the end of this video, really. Very strange purchase, probably the most unusual purchase I've ever made, and I've bought a lot of crap, believe me. But yeah, Atari STs, they were direct competitors with the Commodore Amiga. They're a little less expensive, I think, when they came out, and not quite as powerful. Graphics and sound were not quite as good, but like I said, they had their own sort of aesthetic look and feel, and they definitely had a following. So the 1040 ST had a megabyte of RAM, as a floppy drive, like I said. Well, that one doesn't have a floppy drive. They had an internal power supply. Well, that one doesn't have an internal power supply, but most of them do. Cool thing about internal power supply is they use a standard cable. So you could just plug a normal cable into there when there is a power supply. And you don't need an external brick like you did with the Amiga, because that's always a pain. You know, you buy these Amigas without a brick, and then you buy a brick separately as is for $80, and you know, it doesn't work and all that. So yeah, Ataris were very big with the music world because they had MIDI in and out to connect to synthesizers and external music gear. So Ataris were always pretty far ahead in the music world. But yeah, they definitely had a following. I didn't get any mice, See there are the joystick ports and the mouse ports. I didn't get any mice, and these machines did use mice. But I think that the Commodore Amiga Tank mouse, the standard Amiga mouse, will work with these. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard that they might. So hopefully that's the case, and I don't have to, scour the internet for $100 Atari mice, because that would not be fun. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will probably post updates to my social media and perhaps another video, hopefully with this guy working. We'll see what happens. Talk to you soon.